Hey Mark, just wrapping up, or actually I wrapped it up a little earlier, but didn't make the video, so here's the video. This is the set of corrections. Your note to me was to just double check that everything in the flipping of the model, this is for IRR, um, is accurate and conforms with the original set. And here I have the original set, here I have the flipped version. And I don't know what phase. It would probably be good to know what phase of the, you know, of the set this is in. Whether it's, I believe this has not been, this has not gone through the CD process, um, because there's no smoke detectors or carbon monoxide detectors, or there's a whole bunch of things that are missing from that list. Your instruction to me was just to make sure it conforms, but I noted a couple other things that didn't really totally jive, didn't really make sense. But so anyway, here goes. So this flip, it looked like it went fine. I think there were some corrections to line weights, which looked like they were done accurately. There were a couple notes in here that were done in red. It looked like they were probably done on, some PDF program. I'm guessing it's communication with either you or the builder. Um, so and in this, I was just picking up everything because I figured it's easier to over annotate than under. So I was just noting that that's in there and needs to be changed, but it was part of the original set. Again, that shows up here. Um, I also noted I think it might be a good idea. It might be kind of helpful to see this roof, even if it was just a pattern that was placed over it, with potentially with some kind of hatch on it for what is standing seam versus what is shingles, potentially. I don't know. Uh, might help it read a little more clearly. But that was that for that page. There was a note, I saw in the email thread that there was a note to add floor drains to the garage slab. And I think I'm guessing this was misinterpreted. Um, because the way this is reading is that there's a garage at the same level as the basement slab, which is not the case. And there are floor drains in that slab that's at the same. So I think I'm assuming they kind of screwed up on this. And we should just make sure that this is dimensioned and annotated on the floor plan. This is also missing a smoke detector, so that's kind of what threw me off. This is not a CD check. Here, which they are here, they're put in here, but I believe we would want to just have this dimensioned on this floor plan. I don't know, maybe the communication was different, so maybe I'm saying something out of turn. But I believe that, based on how I'm seeing it, is that we would want a, oops, dimension here, 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 probably one here. Um, that's at least how I was interpreting it from your email thread. Here there was also just another note, which is also here, which looked again like communication to the builder or to the engineer, someone that I'm guessing we either want removed or to be colored black, make it a note in the actual set. And then I also noticed that in the, so we have perspectives on both, and it looked like there was a graphic change. I think we got rid of some shadows, which I think was intended. But there's also a couple more sheets in the original set. I don't know if um, this was intentional or not, but they that were not in the final set. So there was this perspective, and then there were a couple of section or 6 sections that I think. I mean, there's a lot going on. I think in section, so it seems like it would be pretty useful to have this. But I don't know what the stipulations of the contract were. So um, another note, I noted a couple things in here. Uh, these dimensions kind of seemed confusing to me. I think it's what it's noting is that this is just a 7.5 inch little closet space, and then but there's an extra liter in here, and then this also seemed really funky to me. Maybe it's possible, I don't know, but especially with the optional 12-foot tray ceiling, just not really sure how this could go. Maybe there's, and you can't really have it run here, or this beam can't run over this window. You probably have to run this beam here, or have a drop beam or something. But I'm also, this looks like it is, yeah, that's right here, I think. So that's going to take a lot of, or there's going to be a pretty big point load there. Do we have anything for it? Yeah, so there probably, I would assume there'd even be a point load, something has to go to the basement, but um, that looked a little funky to me, especially if there was a tray ceiling. So I noted that there. Missing a couple dimensions. That's one of the first things that kind of gets dropped. When you do these flips, that's one of the things that Revit kind of loses every once in a while. So just an overall dimension, and then some of these dimensions changed a little. It looked like where it grabs. Yeah, I think this is grabbing a little bit short. Maybe it's grabbing to the inside of sheathing. Yeah, that probably makes sense. Yeah, so we have slightly different numbers here. And that would make sense if it's grabbing to the inside of the sheathing. And what else was there? This looked a little funny to put the. Well, I mean, I would just assume that that would go with the set that's not going to have the garage door right there. Maybe that's intentional. I just made a note of it. And then all of these, and this is another thing that kind of goes a little screwy with the flips. All these numbers, all of them, most of them changed just slightly, but they all seem a little different. So that would be another thing to correct. And I think that's everything. So let me know. I mean, I can certainly make these changes if you'd like early tomorrow. But or if it's going to India, let me know. Thanks, Mark.